Welcome, my sleepy scholars, to the SleepBound Library, your haven for fantasy, historic, and sci-fi sleep stories. I'm Elias, your guide to better rest. If you love relaxing sleep stories, subscribe now. Tonight, we invite you to surrender to a tale of wonder and serenity. A story woven from the threads of the Force itself. As the story unfolds, let its gentle rhythm soothe your soul, transporting you to a place where peace reigns and dreams take flight. This is the Lost Tales of Zynara Velune. Close your eyes. Picture yourself aboard a starship, gliding through the endless expanse of a galaxy far, far away, where stars twinkle like distant promises and nebulae glow with ethereal light. Imagine a forgotten moon nestled in the embrace of a shimmering nebula, its surface aglow with the soft light of kyber crystals. This is where our tale begins. In the outer rim, far beyond the well-trodden hyperspace lanes of the core worlds, there was a moon called Elyndra, orbiting the forgotten planet of Vey'rahn. Elyndra was a hidden gem, its surface dotted with caverns of faintly glowing kyber crystals and forests of bioluminescent ferns that swayed in the gentle night breeze. The air carried the scent of starbloom vines, their delicate petals shimmering like the stars above, and the distant hum of nocturnal creatures created a symphony of calm. Few spaces knew of Elyndra, and fewer still had set foot on its sacred ground. But those who did whispered of a healer named Zynara Velune, a wanderer whose presence brought peace to even the most troubled hearts. Zynara was no Jedi, nor did she align with the Sith or any faction vying for control of the galaxy. She was a Force-sensitive soul, born on the desert world of Arcanus, under its twin suns, her heart attuned to the living force that flowed through all things. Her eyes, the deep violet of a twilight sky, held a quiet wisdom, and her robes, woven from the fibers of starbloom vines, glowed faintly in Elyndra's moonlight, as if kissed by the Force itself. She carried no lightsaber, only a satchel filled with vials of healing salves, herbs infused with the moon's energy, and a small holocron, its crystal lattice etched with stories of the beings she had helped. Zynara's early years on Arcanus had shaped her in ways few could understand. The desert planet, known for its stark beauty, and the academy that trained Imperial officers, was a harsh cradle for a child so sensitive to the Force. As a girl, she wandered the dunes under the twin suns, her bare feet sinking into the warm sand, feeling the faint hum of life beneath the surface. The desert was not barren, as many believed. It teemed with hidden vitality, tiny scarabs that glowed faintly at dusk, cacti that whispered secrets to the wind, and rare oases where the Force pooled like a still lake. Zynara learned to listen to these whispers, her violet eyes scanning the horizon for signs of life, her heart open to the galaxy's quiet songs. Her parents, simple moisture farmers, noticed her gifts early. They spoke of her in hushed tones, fearing the attention of the Jedi or worse, the Sith. When Zynara was barely 10, she found a small, cracked kyber crystal buried in the sand, its faint hum calling to her like a distant voice. She kept it hidden, cradling it in her palms at night, feeling its warmth soothe her dreams. It was this crystal that first sparked her visions of Elyndra, a moon bathed in silver light, where the Force flowed freely, untouched by the galaxy's strife. She knew even then that her path lay beyond Arcanus, among the stars. Zynara's departure from Arcanus came abruptly, in the shadow of the Clone Wars' early tremors. A traveling merchant, a kindly Chadrafan named Pico, offered her passage on his freighter, a battered Gutrock 720. She was 16, her satchel packed with little more than her kyber crystal, a few credits, and a heart full of hope. Pico, with his bat-like ears twitching and his eyes gleaming with mischief, regaled her with tales of distant worlds, Mon Cola's oceans, Cassiac's towering Rocher trees, and the mysterious moons of the Outer Rim. It was Pico who first spoke of Vey'rahn, a planet forgotten by most, and its moon, Elyndra, rumored to be a haven of the Force. Zynara felt the pull immediately, as if the Force itself whispered her name. The journey to Elyndra was long, weaving through asteroid fields and past Imperial checkpoints. Zynara spent her days aboard the freighter meditating, her cracked kyber crystal resting in her lap, its hum her steady companion. She practiced small acts of healing, mending Pico's cuts from engine repairs, soothing his weary mind with gentle words. By the time they reached Vey'rahn, Pico called her Little Healer, his whiskers twitching with pride. When her boots finally touched Elyndra's moss-covered ground, the moon's energy enveloped her like a warm embrace. The kyber caverns sang, their melody resonating with her crystal, and the starbloom vines seemed to bloom brighter in her presence. Zynara made her home in a small cave near a kyber cavern, its walls shimmering with veins of crystal that pulsed like a heartbeat. She wove her robes from starbloom fibers, their faint glow a reflection of Elyndra's light. Each morning, she walked the moon's paths, her fingers brushing against the bioluminescent ferns, their light dancing like fireflies. She gathered herbs, moon petal, glowroot, and crystal bloom that grew in the moon's sacred soil, their properties amplified by the Force. Her salves could mend blaster burns, ease fevered dreams, and calm hearts heavy with grief. She recorded each recipe in her holocron, its crystal lattice glowing brighter with every story she added. Zynara's days were a quiet ritual of care. She tended to Elyndra's ecosystem, ensuring the balance of the Force. The native loathcat, their fur glowing faintly in the dark, became her companions. Culling up beside her, she worked. She learned their silent language, their purrs a soothing counterpoint to the kyber crystal's hum. Occasionally, spacers would find Elyndra, a lost pilot, a fugitive Jedi, a smuggler hiding from the huts. Zynara welcomed them all, offering her salves and a place to rest. Her cave became a sanctuary, its walls aglow with crystal light, its air filled with the scent of herbs and the sound of a trickling stream. One such visitor was a Myrialan smuggler named Taryn, whose ship, a modified Corellian YT-1300, had crashed in Elyndra's forests. Taryn's green skin was marred with burns, and her eyes held the weight of a life on the run. Zynara found her amid the wreckage, her presence calming the smuggler's racing heart. "You're safe here," Zynara said, her voice soft as the moon's breeze. She led Taryn to her cave, where she applied a salve of crystal bloom and moon petal, its cool touch easing the burns. Over days, Taryn shared her story, a life of dodging Imperial patrols, running spice for the Pike Syndicate, and dreaming of freedom. Zynara listened, her holocron glowing as it recorded Taryn's tale. Zynara taught Taryn to listen to Elyndra's rhythms, the hum of the Kyber crystals, the rustle of the ferns, the distant calls of Lothcat. They walked together through the forests, Taryn's tension melting with each step. One evening, as the nebula painted the sky in shades of amethyst and gold, Taryn asked, "Why do you stay here alone?" Zynara smiled, her twilight eyes reflecting the stars. "I'm not alone," she said. "The Force is here, in every leaf, every crystal. It's a song, and I'm part of its melody." Taryn left Elyndra with a vial of salve and a lighter heart, promising to spread word of the healer's sanctuary. One twilight, as Elyndra's nebula cast a tapestry of sapphire and rose across the sky, a small, weathered astromech droid rolled onto the moon's mossy plains. Its dome was a faded blue, scratched and dented from years of service, and its designation, R3V9, was barely legible on its chassis. The droid's lights flickered weakly, its chirps soft and plaintive, like a lost creature seeking solace. Zynara sensed its arrival through the Force, a faint pulse of curiosity and weariness emanating from its circuits. She approached, her star-bloom robes shimmering in the moonlight, her presence as gentle as a whisper. "Little one, you've traveled far," Zynara said, her voice a soothing melody. She knelt beside R3V9, her fingers brushing its dome, feeling the faint warmth of its overworked processors. The droid beeped softly, projecting a fragmented hologram of a starship graveyard, a desolate expanse of wrecked vessels orbiting a shattered planet. R3V9 had been the sole survivor of its crew, a band of explorers lost to a pirate ambush in the unknown regions. For years it had drifted, its memory banks heavy with grief, until the Force guided it to Elyndra. Zynara guided R3V9 to a clearing where the bioluminescent ferns formed a soft, glowing circle. She sat beside it, her satchel open, revealing a vial of crystal-infused oil, its faint shimmer mirroring the Kyber cavern's light. She applied the oil to the droid's joints, its squeaks softening as the lubrication took effect. "Rest now," she murmured, her hands glowing faintly with the Force, calming the droid's overtaxed circuits. The ferns swayed, their light pulsing in time with R3V9's flickering indicators, as if Elyndra itself sang to the droid. As they sat, R3V9 projected images from its memory, a vibrant market on Batuu, a nebula's swirling colors, a child's laughter on a long-lost freighter. Zynara listened, her holocron glowing as it recorded the droid's silent stories. She shared tales of Elyndra's beauty, the way the starbloom vines curled toward the moonlight, the soft hum of the loath cat in the distance. The droid's beeps grew steadier, its lights brighter, as if the moon's energy flowed through its circuits. They spent days together, Zynara teaching R3V9 to navigate the moon's paths, its treads rolling smoothly over the moss. One evening, as the nebula glowed like a cosmic painting, R3V9 projected a final hologram, a simple thank you in Orbesh, its light steady and calm. When R3V9 systems were restored, it rolled toward its small repair pod, its chirps now bright and melodic. Zynara placed a tiny starbloom flower on its dome, its petals glowing faintly. "Carry this light with you," she said, her twilight eyes warm. The droid beeped a farewell, its pod lifting into the nebula's embrace, a beacon of Elyndra's peace venturing back into the stars. Years passed, and Zynara's legend grew, though she sought no fame. A Mandalorian, his armor dented and his clan lost to the Empire's purge, arrived seeking solace. Zynara welcomed him, her salves easing his wounds, her words soothing his grief. He spoke of Mandalore's fall, his voice heavy with loss, and Zynara recorded his story in her holocron, preserving his clan's memory. A protocol droid, its circuits frayed from centuries of service, landed on Elyndra, its memory banks holding fragments of ancient Sith lore. Zynara repaired its circuits with crystal-infused oil, listening as it recited tales of forgotten worlds. Even a young Hutt, exiled from his cartel, found refuge with her, his arrogance softened by her gentle presence. Under the soft glow of Elyndra's twin moons, a sleek, angular shuttle landed near a crystal-lined stream. From it emerged a Chiss navigator named Vey'rahn, her crimson eyes glowing faintly in the dark, her blue skin almost luminous against the fern's light. She wore a tattered cloak, its edges frayed from years of exile, and her posture spoke of a heavy burden. Zynara felt her presence, a quiet storm of resolve and sorrow, and approached, her robes trailing like a soft wave. "Welcome to Elyndra," she said, her voice as gentle as the stream's ripple. Vey'rahn had been a navigator for the Chiss Ascendancy, her keen mind charting paths through the chaos of the unknown regions. But a miscalculation during a diplomatic mission had led to her banishment, her name erased from Chiss records. She had wandered the galaxy since, seeking redemption, until a dream of a glowing moon led her to Elyndra. "I seek peace," Vey'rahn whispered, her voice trembling like the leaves in the breeze. Zynara nodded, her violet eyes warm, and led her to a grove where the Kyber crystals hummed a soft, comforting song. Zynara offered Vey'rahn a cup of tea brewed from moon petal leaves, its warmth easing the Chiss's tension. They sat by the stream, its waters sparkling with kyber dust, and Zynara applied a salve of glowroot to Vey'rahn's weary hands, soothing the strain of years at starship controls. The navigator spoke of her travels, nebulae that sang with unseen energies, planets hidden in the chaos, and the loneliness of exile. Zynara listened, her holocron glowing as it captured Vey'rahn's story, its light blending with the fern's soft pulse. Over weeks, Zynara guided Vey'rahn through Elyndra's forests, teaching her to feel the Force's gentle current. They meditated in a kyber cavern, its crystals casting prismatic light across Vey'rahn's face, easing her guilt. One night, as the nebula swirled in hues of violet and amber, Vey'rahn mapped Elyndra's skies, her navigator's instincts finding harmony in the stars' patterns. "You've given me a new path," she said, her crimson eyes bright with hope. Zynara smiled, placing a starbloom vine in Vey'rahn's hands. "The Force charts its own course," she said, her voice a soothing lullaby. When Vey'rahn's shuttle was repaired, she stood by the stream, her cloak now mended with starbloom threads. She bowed to Zynara, her crimson eyes steady. "I'll carry this piece with me," she said, her voice calm as the moon's breeze. Her shuttle rose, its engines a soft hum, disappearing into the nebula's glow, a testament to Elyndra's healing power. Each visitor left Elyndra changed, carrying a piece of its peace into the galaxy. Zynara's life was a quiet symphony, her days filled with the rustle of ferns, the hum of crystals, and the stories of those she helped. She explored deeper into the moon's caverns, discovering hidden chambers where kyber crystals grew in intricate patterns, their light casting kaleidoscopic reflections. She meditated there, her cracked kyber crystal from Arcanus resting in her hands, its hum blending with the cavern's song. The Force spoke to her in visions, of worlds healed, of hearts mended, of a galaxy where peace was more than a dream. One evening, as Elyndra's sky burned with the nebula's colors, a battered X-wing landed near Zynara's cave. Its pilot, a young Twi'lek named Lirah, stumbled out, her leku trembling with exhaustion. Lirah was a rebel, fleeing the Empire after a failed mission on Lothal. Her side was scorched by a blaster bolt, her eyes wide with fear. Zynara approached, her presence as calming as a gentle tide. "Rest now," she said, her voice soft as the starbloom petals. She guided Lirah to a grove where the ferns formed a natural canopy, their light casting dappled patterns on the ground. She applied a salve of glowroot and kyber dust, its cool touch easing the wound, and Lirah's breathing slowed, her fear fading. Zynara cared for Lirah over weeks, sharing stories of Elyndra's beauty and the Force's quiet power. They walked the moon's paths, Lirah learning to feel the kyber crystals hum, to hear the starbloom vines' whispers. Lirah spoke of the rebellion, of her hope for a galaxy free from the Empire's grip. Zynara listened, her holocron glowing as it recorded Lirah's dreams. One night, as they sat by the stream, Lirah asked, "How do you stay so calm, with the galaxy in chaos?" Zynara's eyes twinkled like the stars. "The Force is a river," she said. "I don't fight its current, I let it carry me." Over the days that followed, Zynara cared for Lirah, sharing stories of Elyndra's beauty and the galaxy's forgotten places. She taught the Twi'lek to listen to the Kyber crystal's song, to feel the Force's gentle pulse. Lirah, in turn, spoke of her rebellion, her hopes for a galaxy free from tyranny. Zynara listened, her holocron recording Lirah's tale, preserving it as a thread in the Force's tapestry. When Lirah was strong enough to leave, she carried with her a vial of Zynara's salve and a renewed sense of hope. "May the Force be with you," Zynara said, her voice a gentle farewell. Zynara's years on Elyndra stretched on, her hair now silvered, her steps slower, but her spirit undimmed. She continued her work, tending to the moon's balance, healing those who found her. The Force guided her, its song a constant companion. She discovered new herbs, new caverns, each revealing more of Elyndra's secrets. She recorded them all in her holocron, its crystal lattice a tapestry of lives touched by her kindness. The loath cat curled closer at night, their purrs a lullaby, and the star-bloom vines seemed to bloom brighter in her presence. As the galactic civil war raged, Elyndra remained a sanctuary, hidden from the Empire's gaze. Zynara's visions grew stronger, showing glimpses of a galaxy at peace. She saw Lirah, now a leader in the rebellion, carrying Elyndra's light in her heart. She saw the Mandalorian, rebuilding his clan, and the Hutt, forging a new path. Each vision filled her with hope, a quiet certainty that her work mattered. She sat by the stream each evening, her holocron glowing as she recorded her thoughts. The Force is not a weapon, but a song sung by every living thing. To heal is to listen to its melody. Zynara's life on Elyndra continued, a quiet rhythm of healing and discovery. She encountered many more beings just as she encountered the Mandalorian, seeking solace after losing his clan, a protocol droid whose memory banks held fragments of ancient lore, and a young Hutt exiled from his family's cartel. To each, she offered her gifts, her presence a beacon of peace in a galaxy torn by conflict. She never sought fame or power, content to remain a whisper in the Force, a tale told by those she helped. As the years passed, Elyndra remained a sanctuary, its Kyber caverns and starbloom forests untouched by the Empire's reach. Zynara grew older, her hair now streaked with silver, but her eyes still held the warmth of twilight. She would sit by the stream each evening, her holocron glowing softly as she recorded her thoughts. "The Force is not a weapon," she wrote, "but a song sung by every living thing. To heal is to listen to its melody." One night, as the nebula painted the sky with hues of amethyst and gold, Zynara felt a shift in the Force. A vision came to her, a galaxy at peace, where beings like Lirah could live without fear. She smiled, knowing her work on Elyndra had been a small but vital part of that dream. She lay down among the ferns, their light enveloping her, and closed her eyes. The Force welcomed her, its river carrying her spirit into the stars. And so, the tale of Zynara Velune fades into the galaxy's embrace, a whisper of peace carried on the winds of the Force. Let her story linger in your heart, a gentle reminder that even in the vastness of the stars, there is always a place of calm. Breathe deeply now, in and out, letting the soft glow of Elyndra's ferns and the hum of its kyber crystals guide you into a deep, restful sleep. May your dreams be as serene as a moonlit night, and may you wake refreshed, ready to meet the new day. Good night, and may the Force be with you.